Hey guys, how's it going? Happy New Year. My first video of 2019. So this is a little bit of an update on the few things I was working on in the last video. Let's go with this guy first because I think he's actually finished at this point. This cool big pig man. So you'll see his colors are very different than what it was in the last video. I actually went with very fleshy colors and a hint of pink just in his face to make him a little bit more rosy. I actually really like how he came out. I wanted to go for like a real rusty kind of look in his weapon there. Even if it does look a bit ridiculous, he's ridiculous altogether. And he has these kind of sores on him as well. I'm not really sure what they were meant to be. Like I was saying before in the last video, he is an actual figure. He's not a miniature, we'll say. So the detail isn't fantastic, but he was a lot of fun to paint up. And the hair that I decided to stick on him for whatever reason, I don't think I overdid it. I think it actually suits him, makes him look a little bit more grubby and disgusting. If you were to imagine a big pig man in real life, he would look something similar to this, or at least be as hairy. And pretty happy with the base as well. That's kind of robbing a bit of tips off Black Magic Craft, just to take that little bit more time in your brickwork in things like walls and bases. It really does stand out, and it makes it look that little bit more realistic in a world with a big pig man. So that's him. Really happy with him. And you'll see on these two guys now, I really haven't done much over the Christmas. I was working with what I could at home. I didn't have all my gear with me, but these guys, they came along a little bit. This guy has, so his Trident is a little bit more done. Kind of, I might do a few sketches of what kind of design I want to do with it first. Might keep it quite crude because he is kind of he's a pirate, so maybe he robs his equipment rather than crafts it himself, kind of idea. So kind of using the miniature, creating a story as you go almost. So this was a lot of fun. So this was, over the Christmas holidays, I'd have, kind of, I went home, so you'd work with what I have there. And so I brought some of my minis and then kind of work with what I found. And, you might be having a drink at the same time. So you're a little bit more liberal. You might just go ahead and try something you wouldn't usually try, and you just glue it on and see what happens. But I'm pretty happy with this now, honestly. This big belt going around here is actually from a Lord of the Rings orc action figure that is about the same size as the usual action figure, like an army man, or not an army man, action man kind of size guy. But I think it seems to work. Like, it's a different kind of plasticky, rubbery kind of one material, but I think it'll work in the end. And the buckles are sized correctly for this kind of size guy. And then I needed to put a net on him somewhere because he's a fisherman. So this is some, we'll say, netting used to have to hold garlic in a shopping market, or what would you call it? Yeah, just a shop like a grocer's or something like that. So I thought that worked, and I think that'll paint up quite nicely. It's hard to get the detail in it now, but instead of having to sculpt that, like, no way would I sculpt that. That would take a million years. And just tied it up with their bit of ornament stuff. So really, guys, anything that's around the house is not safe. I will rob it and make it into something. But he's coming along nicely. I think I will go with an eye patch, and I don't think I'll do the beard because I do like his shape of his head, and this big neck situation is just something you don't see very often. So I think I'll keep that on and somehow work on his strange face. But I think with paint will completely change this guy's mood, just like it did with the pig man. He looks so different just with the paint job. But that's him anyway. The Etten had a little bit of fun with this guy. I still didn't make up the decision with his head, because you'll see here, if it'll focus, these are tiny little heads. These are from Trolls from Mantic Games, which are some figures I got a while ago that I still didn't use for anything, and they're actually tiny, but I think it could work. They have a lot of character in them. I do like, they're kind of goofy. They have two different expressions. One is more admiring his prize here with the pony, and one is more in battle mode here with the little hat he's got on. So I think I actually will go with them, even if they are very, very small. I don't know, I'll see. And then I had a lot of fun here with the bag. Now this is what I'm talking about. I think I was had a few drinks, and I was like, feck it, like, I'll just go mad with this. So this is all this stuff he's got in his bag. He's got a leg hanging out. He's got a goblin leg, some kind of tail of a cow, I think it is. A tentacle, because why not? This is what happens, lads, when you have bits boxes that are just toys of just loads of different things. You know yourself, you can't help but do it. Then he's got this guy's little hand here trying to reach for the buckle to get out. That was a little bit of fun. Just, I don't know, the same thing again, kind of creating the story in a miniature as you go. That's almost the enjoyment I get from it. Like, I really don't play much, if ever. And this mace here, maybe it's a bit extreme. I always seem to go extreme with the weapons, but that's pretty crazy looking at the moment. So I might remake that and make it a bit more realistic. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. That's him at the moment anyway. I think I will go with those heads actually. Feck it. Who cares? This thing was pretty much finished up in the last one, but all I did really was put the gloss. I sprayed him with a matte varnish and then gloss varnish just around his teeth and his maw here, and I think it makes him look a lot more scary, a lot more intimidating. Kind of remind me of, is it Peter Jackson's King Kong, where they fall down into the valley and all the arachnids and all these kind of worm guys get them. They're disgusting, but it was a lot of fun to do. Very very like not a lot of technique or not a lot of money went into this. Like I said in the last one, that's PVA and tissue paper, and it kind of gives you a nice texture as well, just left to dry. And then they're just milliput rolled up into little teeth and stuck on slowly. So I might actually make a few more of them because they're quite disgusting. I think they'd make a really fun set or kind of encounter as well. So last up here, let's go with these little brat guys. These were a lot of fun as well, building on top of Warhammer or Age of Sigmar. I think I said Warhammer the last one. Goblins. I think they were night goblins, and just went for really gritty kind of colors or kind of dirty, grungy colors. Nothing very bright at all because they are rats, like. And they really came out well. I think the little bit of character in their faces goes a long way, because I think that'll be the focal point of a miniature. Really, is faces. If they'll pick it up. Like, it's not amazing paint job in any way. Maybe I shouldn't be bringing it this close. I'm kind of doing myself shame here, but it's just quick and easy, you know. And they're a lot of fun. I have a few more of them in the works. And last but not least are just these little fungus kind of guys. I suppose they're not little. That's 28mm there. She's like the new mascot somehow. I don't know how she became it. I lost the big barbarian. But these guys are just some kind of fungus creatures made with a bit of I think it was wood, pipe, and glue, hot glue, and then just some tin foil, and then built on with milliput. And these are just from I think fake plants that were around at Christmas that I robbed off something as well. I'm telling you, I'll rob everything. You know what I mean? And they're just really quick and easy. But I thought they were, and just a little bit of texture on the top there with whatever I was poking the milliput, just for some potentially they shoot at spores or something like this. There's lots of little crappy plant creatures that you'd need miniatures for, and they're very cheap and easy to make. But that's them, guys. That's my first of 2019. I'll stick with it. Try do things more often. There's great guys like new this year that I found on YouTube that you probably sub to, and if you haven't, check him out. You know, you got Crafts and Minis. That guy's coming up. That guy's banging out videos. Like, he's got a fantastic collection of stuff, and you never know what he's going to pull out in the next video, what he's put paint on, and what he'll show off. Fantastic range of miniatures out there that you never even know, and he'll show you so much stuff. You check him out. And it's Nick's Crafts as well is another guy. I think he's an American guy as well, but that he's another new guy that I've found recently, and new kind of craft and more terrain stuff that I might want to get into. But you know, more inspiration. Then again, you should check him out again, guys. Yeah, cheers for everything. Happy New Year, and I'll keep them coming. Hopefully, if you want to see more, you know, cool, keep watching them. Sub if you want. You know, I don't really mind about sub and reviews or anything like that. I just, you know, it's more about inspiration. You know, I like the idea of the inspiration. Like, one person shows one thing and they're like, oh, that's deadly. Where did he find that toy, or where did he come up with that idea? I want to do that. I want to use that. That's basically it, guys. Happy New Year, and I'll talk to you again.